Hey there, how's it going? I am MisterBo, and we have just had the Activision investors call for the first quarter of 2020, which I mentioned in my video yesterday about maybe getting some sort of confirmation about a new Crash game coming in 2020. Well, we did get some new information that I'll be going over in just a second. But if you do enjoy this video, then be sure to subscribe because 80% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so help me try and bring that number down a little bit. So, what was said in the Activision investors call? Well, there were a few things, and unfortunately they didn't really mention Crash Bandicoot at all. But before you click off the video, they did mention a few things that possibly hint to the confirmation of a new Crash coming this year. So at the beginning of the investors call, they said this and showed this slide, which you can see on screen. While nearly all employees transition to working from home, we continue to expect to deliver a robust slate of content through the year, including the next premium release for Call of Duty, 2 titles based on library IP from Activision, World of Warcraft Shadowlands, regional testing for new mobile titles, and ongoing live operations across our key titles. So there's 2 things to take away from that. Firstly, there are going to be 2 new games coming out this year which aren't Call of Duty based on their library IP. Now, if you're keeping up with the news today, you will have known that the new Tony Hawk's game got leaked out yet again. This is going to be like the 10th leak for this game. Activision just announced the thing we all know it exists. Well, pro skater Jason Dill was on the 9 Club podcast, which is a skateboarding podcast, and basically said, hey, you know they're making a new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater this year. I'm not in it, but I managed to get my deck in it. I wanted to be in it in some way. He also talked about how they're not making Skate 4 and some Skate mobile game. Anyway, that was more confirmation we're going to be seeing a new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater this year. But what is the other new game based on existing IP that they have in their library coming out this year? Well, it's probably Crash Bandicoot. If we go back to that leak from the Gaming Revolution, which I covered when it first came out, and I went over it again yesterday, he said the games coming out this year were indeed Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, which has come out, a brand new Call of Duty, which Activision says is still on track for 2020, as well as a new Tony Hawk's game and a new Crash game. It seemed to line up that we are going to be getting a Crash Bandicoot game this year, thanks to what Activision has said today. Now, the other thing mentioned there is that they're continuing regional testing for new mobile titles. And we already know one of those mobile titles is Crash Mobile, which is currently in regional testing, probably set to release sometime later this year officially. So that is awesome information. Now, there was one other key bit of information in this conference call, which could hint for more content coming for Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, or it might not. So they said they are going to be continuing in-game releases across all of their key franchises. So that's like the seasons in Call of Duty, that's the events in Overwatch, that's the expansions and events in like World of Warcraft, and that could possibly even mean the updates that we're seeing in Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, but that is a pretty loose thread, so I wouldn't look into that too much. If we're going to be getting any more updates, maybe expect one to be announced either tomorrow or on Thursday this week. If not, we may hear something in the next couple of weeks. Now, the final thing I wanted to go over in this video is how well Crash Team Racing actually did, because Activision put up their annual report and there was a few things in here which make it look good for Crash Bandicoot. Now, we know the Insane Trilogy came out for Xbox One, PC, and Switch in June 2018, and it actually had lower revenues than expected. The decrease of those revenues was actually partially offset by the revenues recognized from Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, which was released in June 2019, and in June 2019 again, there was a decrease in their net revenues from console for 2019 as compared to 2018, primarily due to lower revenues recognized from Destiny, and we know Activision cut ties with Destiny, and they actually had lower revenues recognized from the Call of Duty franchise catalog titles, but again, that was offset by Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. So they were going to have a lower year, but thankfully Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled sales helped even that out, which is awesome to see and is really good for Crash Bandicoot going into the future. Activision also mentioned the new work from home scenario they're in, and they said things are going fine, but some things are harder to do. For example, voiceover work and QA testing, which may impact the updates for Crash Team Racing. So we might not be seeing an update when we think we're seeing an update, and it could be further away if we are indeed getting any more. And that was kind of it for their conference call. It was kind of the information that I wanted to hear. I wanted to go into this and not have them say, we're just releasing Call of Duty this year. I wanted them to say, hey, we're releasing Call of Duty this year and we're also releasing something else. And they confirmed that by saying, yes, there are 2 more titles other than Call of Duty being released this year on pre-existing IP from our library. And it would make sense that that is the Tony Hawk's game we've been hearing about for however long now, as well as this long rumored Crash Bandicoot game. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Do you think those 2 IPs that are coming out this year are indeed Crash and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? And let me know, do you think the continuing of in-game releases across all of their key franchises includes Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled? If you enjoyed the video, then click the like button. If you aren't, which most of you aren't, subscribe so you can stay up to date with my new videos. I'll be keeping you updated on any new information we get about the new Crash Bandicoot game, the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game, and any new updates for Nitro-Fueled. Thank you for all the support on the channel recently. It has been awesome and I really do appreciate it. Also, thank you for watching and for hanging out, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.